Hey, how's it going? I am Tom, and I'm here at Patchwerks to show off some blue modules. We're gonna make some music. Come check it out. So this is the system we get to play with today. It has a collection of modules, and notably, it has two blue ones. So we have our Dreadful filter here, and we have our stereo mixer here, both from myself. Build them locally in my basement. Kind of normal, right? Just be in your basement sniffing solder fumes all the time. So essentially, we have a two-channel low-pass filter, only low-pass, but this thing rocks. It when you have high resonance, it doesn't leave out low end. The spread circuit allows both filters to be shifting around and changing. It essentially, as you increase the spread, you have your filters spreading apart, and then if you decrease it, they spread apart in the opposite way. Similar to a Moog, Voyager, or Matriarch spread, but just done right because it affects both filters at the same time. Now over here we have our stereo mixer, dead simple module, just 4 stereo channels with volume knobs. It's nice, let's say you have a stereo filter and you have a mimeophone and you have a morphogene. Those will all be accepted into your stereo filter with no fuss. But anyway, the Dreadful filter, it is a dual 2-pole design, so 12 dB per octave. The resonance circuit, when you bump up the resonance, it does not lose bass. So I'll do a quick little filter sweep on a saw for you. Ooh, creamy. I designed this module because I really needed a filter in my life, because just the Roland style filters, the other topologies, that they didn't ever work for me for getting just a gnarly bass line. I suppose like an 18 dB TB303 style filter would do the trick, but I think that this squeals really well. I think it's great for bass lines. I think it's balanced, and if you're mixing your signals externally, you'll be able to throw multiple oscillators here and have them at different cutoffs. You'll be able to shape your bass sound as much as you want. And there's also some crazy patches you can get in here. Things like cross mod, things like, we're going to show you a sweet side chaining trick with this. Kick drums, crazy. Two toms, if you want to patch them up as two toms. Really just simple, but an excellent building block to make your own patches. So I guess we're going to show you some sounds. All right, I have a patch for you here. We're going to do some cross modulation. We're going to have one of our filters modulate the other one. In this case, we're going to filter 1 modulate filter 2. So because this filter has inputs that are normal to each other, for instance, input 1, if I send a signal in there, it'll automatically appear at the input of number 2 as well. We can use that to our advantage. We're going to use a filtered version of our audio signal, in this case the wave-shaped output of the DPO, to modulate itself, to modulate its own filter. So if I have a pretty normal sound for you here, all it is the DPO wave shape output being filtered. Pretty normal for the most part. But now, what we have, and I'll show this to you a bit. This is what our modulator sounds like now. So So we're going to take that wave and we're going to modulate this one with it. So let's go ahead and cross patch it. And now I can turn up the modulation amount. Now every little change I make to this filter, the oscillator pitch, the oscillator wave shape, it'll change the entire sound. So here's the oscillator wave shape. Here's the oscillator angle. Here's the shape. Oh boy. Alright, and of course, if I have the oscillator pitch changing, so all the harmonics here are canceling each other out and making this really weird Foreman sound. Oh, that's gnarly. Alright, let's add some spread modulation. I'll have a clocked function here. Let's divide that down. Didn't expect that. You have a bunch of weird accidents happen. Because basically every knob on this filter is going to change your sound. Every knob on this DPO is going to change your sound. You know, if I want to modulate this, I'll turn off this envelope here. And how about we I'm going to temporarily hijack this output here, send it through our fixed filter. So with our cross modulation, we get this gnarly sound. And then with the modulator down the line, you can shape it into something that's really ambient, spacey. Cool. So just with one oscillator, a little arpeggio, and some effects modules, you can have a whole weird spacey ambient piece, because this thing will just destroy anything. As soon as you start cross-modulating on this filter, it'll destroy whatever you put into it, which is what we want. We want to destroy things with our sound. Nice. We have our Dual Dreadful VCF doing double duty. We have a kick drum on channel 1, and we have our bass line going through channel 2. So here's our kick drum. Sounds dull for now, but we got some sauce to spice that up. And here's our bass line. We got saw and a square wave being mixed together. And we can put them together, and with one knob turn, instant cyberpunk bass line. Sounds a little bit squishy. So what's happening here, we have our spread circuit is increasing the frequency of channel 1, and that gives us our kick drum with that nice pitch envelope, giving us a nice click. But at the same time, our spread circuit is decreasing the frequency of our baseline filter, and that makes the frequency drop down and gives the effect of a nice side chain. So we have our kick drum and our side chain in the same module. Fantastic. Controlled off of one envelope going to the spread circuit, and you can mess around with how that envelope is shaped. Get more or less modulation. But it really allows that kick drum to fly through your thick bass line. And even if you're filtering, even if you want to filter with more animation on your bass line before it hits our sidechain here, you can totally do that. This will just cut down that high end so that your kick drum, that nice tap, can come through and move some booties on the dance floor. Oh boy. Mess around with your step sequencer to get different accences. Ready? Here we go.